Hello everyone. Today we are beginning with the second poem of Flamingo book, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender. First of all, let us see about our poet. Stephen Spender was an English poet. He was a well-known essayist. He left Oxford University without taking a degree, and then he went to Berlin in 1930. He took keen interest in politics. He declared himself a pacifist and a socialist. Pacifist means one who believes in peace, right? Now let me give you a short introduction to our poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. The poem is published in 1964. It is a kind of political voice, right? It expresses ideological positions on government, economics and education. This poem was written during civil movement in US. It represents the worldwide social injustice and class inequalities. In this poem, the poet portrays underprivileged and lower class school children. Now let's begin with our poem. The poem contains 3 different stanzas and we can subtitle them with 4 headings. So for the first paragraph, this is our first paragraph, and we can title it with Pathetic and Diseased Condition of Slum Children. In the first stanza, the poet is describing the pathetic and diseased condition of slum children. So look at the poem. The lines of the poem are far, far from gusty waves these children faces. Gusty waves means here lap of nature, yeah, fast moving life. So, and these here represents children of slum. Like rootless weeds. Rootless weeds here means you are aware of rootless. Rootless weeds is unwanted plants. The hair tone round their pallor. Pallor here means pale faces, right? The tall girl with weighed down head. Weighed down head means physically and emotionally exhausted. And then the poet is saying the paper seeming boy. Paper seeming means thin like a paper, with rat's eyes, bulgy eyes like rat. The stunted unlucky hair of twisted bones. Stunted whose bones are not properly developed. Twisted bones. He get genetic disorders from his parents. Reciting a father's gnarled disease. Gnarled disease is pain in joints. His lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class. The whole classroom is very dim. It means there prevails a grim situation. Grim means serious situation. There is darkness everywhere in the room. There is no proper arrangement of the light, you can say. One unnoted sweet and young boy. His eyes live in a dream. Dream here means hope. Hope for nature, life and energy. Means positive things of life. And then of squirrel's game in the tree room. And then squirrel's game represent nature and life outside that grim classroom. Other than this here means their classroom. So now let me explain these lines to you, you are now you will get you already knew about the meanings of these certain words or certain expressions. So far, far from gusty waves these children faces. The poet is saying that these children, the children of slum, are very far away from all kind of developments which are going on in this world or in their city or in their country all around. Their lives are very far away from all kind of developments, or you can say their lives are very far away from the lap of nature. They are living in a very grim situation, like rootless weeds, right? They are unwanted in the society. They are like weeds in the society. The hair toned round their pallor. Their faces are pale. They are malnourished, and nobody was taking proper care of them. Their hairs are uncombed. And then you can say the poet is saying that he is talking about the some of the students, some of the children who are sitting in that particular slum classroom. The tall girl with weighed down head, and then there is a girl and she is very tall and her head is down. It means that she is physically and emotionally exhausted. Maybe she is very older in years, and she was sitting there among smaller kids, and she was feeling ashamed also, or maybe she has come to school after doing the household chore, right? The kind of things he had to, the kind of duties he had to follow, he had to fulfill in her house, and that made her exhausted, physically and emotionally exhausted, right? And then the poet is talking about a paper seeming boy, and there is a boy in the class who is like a paper, who is thin like a paper. It means the boy is malnourished. Not only the particular boy, all the children who are sitting over there in the classroom are malnourished, but one of the boys very much thin like a paper, right? Then the poet says with rat's eyes, and then there is a boy whose eyes are like rat, right? Rat means the bulgy eyes, the eyes are bulging out, right? And why the poet has uses the rat's eyes? Because like the rat, he always looks for the food. The stunted unlucky hire, and then the poet says then there is a boy whose bones are not properly developed, and he had hired some genetic diseases. He inherited some genetic diseases from his parents, like not like a normal children who inherited the richness, or you can say the health and good health and wealth from their parents. The student of you can say the student of slum inherited diseases and poverty from their parents, right? Reciting a father's gnarled disease, what he has inherited? The pain in joints from his father, and his lesson from his desk. Although he was reading out his lesson from his desk, but what was prominent there? His pathetic look, his pathetic condition, his diseased condition has become a point of attraction, not his study there. And then the poet is saying at the back of the dim class, and the whole atmosphere of the class is very gloomy. It is very serious. The seriousness is prevailing over there, and that's why the poet here says dim class, right? Grim class, serious class, gloomy class, or you can say it is a slum school classroom. That's why there is a absence of, you can say, proper lighting, there, that's why it is also dim. And then who is there? One unnoted, sweet and young. And then there is a boy who is very sweet and young. His eyes live in dream, right? His eyes live in dream. His eyes are full of various hopes for positivity, for good future, right? And what he dreams of? He dreams of nature, good life and energy in the future, right? And then of squirrel's game, right? Although he was sitting over there in the class, but he had no interest in what was going in the class. He was looking outside the class, right? Outside the class, what he was watching? He was watching squirrel's game. There's a squirrel who is going in his home, or you can say his in its living place, and coming out. And squirrel game represent nature and life outside that gloomy classroom. Other than this, and he had no interest in the classroom, he had no interest in whatever the activities going on in the classroom, but he had interest in the squirrel's game. It means he wanted to be like a squirrel. He wanted to be like a squirrel. He wanted to enjoy nature. He wanted to live in the lap of nature, freshness, right? And he wanted to have the energy the squirrel having, right? So this was the explanation of the whole poem, not whole poem, your whole stanza. And now we can we should highlight the literary devices used in the paragraph, right? So far from, in the very first line we see repetition here. Because of the repetition of first letter, we can say we have repetition as well as repetition, and then we have these children faces in the second line like rootless weeds. These children faces like rootless weeds. Here we have simile, like the use of like here. And then we have metaphor, the paper seeming boy and the rat's eyes. We have here metaphor, right? Here also metaphor, right? That's all for the first stanza.